How did you penetrate that first school?
Oh man, that was tough. Unfortunately, the schools and positions, they literally told us it couldn't get any worse than where we are now. So we won't take a flyer on this, right? That's
wow.
Yeah. So, that was an opportunity, right?
Wow.
Right. So,
and that's because of low staffing.
And all that, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And some schools we've talked to hadn't had a licensed math teacher in over 3 years.
So if they don't have a licensed math teacher, the kids are not getting taught math?
Man, it's Band-Aids over Band-Aids, right? So
wow.
They make it.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, where we interview dope people who do dope things, and then we find out about their relationship with real estate. Today, man, I got a guest doing some real unique stuff, and he's shifting the culture with his staffing agency. Let me not call it a staffing agency. I apologize about that. But Nick.
Hey, Eric, what's going on?
Introduce yourself to the people and let them know what you do, boss.
Okay, my name is Nick Williams. I'm a partner at XR Technologies, and what we do is we are a math improvement data company where we work with schools and school systems to come up with a strategy to improve their math scores for their students. So we approach the school as their data partner. So my CEO, Dr. Kevin Burkopes, he has his PhD in mathematics and big data. So we take a data analytics approach and try to help the schools predict success, through their students by a lot of analytics that we own. So based off that, we recommend our own remediation program or our own core math, where we actually bring in the teacher, we bring in the curriculum, we bring in the data, we bring in the tutors, the whole suite to improve a school's math experience, right? So we're the only company in the country that does that.
So I apologize about that introduction.
So staffing somewhat, because we do bring in our own teachers with school, so we do hire a lot
But my
of teachers.
Introduction wasn't like your introduction, so I appreciate it.
No problem.
So, man, tell me about yourself, man.
Man, born and raised here in Indianapolis. Went to Brebeuf High School, then went to IU Bloomington.
Tough loss this week, bro.
Oh, man. I knew it was coming. We can get into that, but I was happy to be in the dance, right?
Okay.
Right. Went to IU for my undergrad and grad school, worked in sports for a number of years, then switched over to fundraising and business development, and now I'm in entrepreneurship and building and scaling a business now nationally. So excited about that. So we're grinding, we're growing, we're learning, and we're trying to improve student performance when it comes to mathematics.
I love it. Now, you said you were into sports.
Yep.
What did you do?
So my undergrad and master's were in sport marketing and management. So I worked in sports. I did corporate sponsorship sales for a company called Learfield Communications for a number of years. Great job, bad timing during 2008, 2011 when the recession hit. So I'm out asking people for money for advertising when banks were closing and people getting laid off. So that really impacted me in a number of ways where, I saw businesses having to make tough decisions. So I saw the impact on people. So I pivoted from working in sports.
Real quick.
Yep.
What was the impact on the people?
Man, I'm out asking for money for advertising within stadiums and radio, but business owners were like, I got to let go my whole staff, or I got to fire people or let them go. And, this is not a good time. And, that was just tough, right? So I actually pivoted from sports to working in politics. Right. And I was doing fundraising for a local candidate who ran for mayor because I care about my community. I want the best for it. So that same skill set that I use doing business development sales, I did in fundraising politically. Right. So I worked for her, raised a lot of money, but in politics, money doesn't equate votes. Right. I learned that real quick. So I stayed in politics for a number of years, worked for a U.S. senator raising money. But I realized I didn't watch enough C-SPAN. So I didn't want to continue doing that. But what I love was being in my community and listening to what impact people and try to give them an opportunity to improve whatever situation they were in.
Got you. What we need to talk about post-podcast is how you can raise money for Sandcastle and all that. Therefore,
absolutely.
Therefore, that we could join venture and you could be like, you know what I'm saying, my guy out there.
Yeah,
and then we could raise money, buy apartments, and just grow this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Let's talk, man. Let's talk.
Then I think you should actually teach a course on how to do that.
Wow,
you know
this went left real quick. Absolutely.
I'm just saying, that's a skill set as an entrepreneur that we all need.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, fundraising, business development, sales all comes down to what people are passionate about and provide them that passion with the opportunity to make an impact. So it could be philanthropy, it could be sales. If it's something that's important to me to move me forward and you have an opportunity to make that happen, that's when partnerships and sales happen and fundraising happens. So it is a skill set. People typically don't like asking for money, but I kind of flip it. It's that passion piece that makes it that much easier. For my current job, I'm chief revenue officer. So that's over sales, a lot of external things that we do as a company. So to me, I look at the students, I feel like our process, our program is improving math scores, improving math performance. Every school should have it. So it's not about me selling, it's about me making an impact for the students and students having that access, that opportunity to improve their lives. Because sometimes math is that barrier there to prevent them from being what they want to be in the future, right? So
like break that down.
So just throughout this my time at XR Technologies, met a lot of people said, if I had this when I was that age, I would be this, right?
Like that skill set.
Or just, math is a lot of times a mental barrier. Like I'm not good at math that we internalize. And, that might prevent you in college from taking certain classes or focus on a certain major. And so we sometimes like avoid it, right?
It's the fear.
The fear becomes a crutch, right? So we want to make sure that our students have that opportunity, that access to us that, we really feel like if you have the right tools, you'll be good at math, right?
Got you.
Right.
Now, I knew that you worked at IU.
Yep. Did fundraising development at IU for their foundation. Yep.
It sounds like you was making a good salary.
I was making a good salary.
All right. So I tell people that sometimes their hardest decision is leaving a great salary,
right,
and that comfort and their benefits to start entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
How'd you make that transition?
So it was pretty easy for me because I knew my partner for a number of years before I transitioned, and I believed in what he was doing. I believed in the mission.
So he started the company without you.
Yeah, he started a company without me, but we always knew we would work together. Right? It wasn't mature enough for me to leave what I'm doing and pay me what
you desire.
What I got to make a living, but I'll work with him throughout the whole time, right? Just kind of, I won't say on the side, but I make sure that we were having the meetings. I always work with him, but I didn't come on full time and take a salary until 2020. So he started a company in 2016.
So if I hear this right, you basically volunteered your time,
absolutely,
to help him develop, and then when he got to a level where he could afford, your salary, that's when you pivoted.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that want instant gratification and not willing to make that sacrifice.
So I think that was a learned trait within me because working in sports, starting off, you don't make a lot of money. I literally did 6 unpaid internships before I did my first paid job, right? So it's learning the trade and really becoming, a subject matter expert, right? That's what you want to be. And, that same thing, I transitioned when I had that opportunity with him. I knew that I want to work with him, but, I have bills to pay, I have a young family starting off and, I got to provide for them. So, I have enough time to set up and coordinate meetings, make meetings and help him along. But as soon as we got to a point, which was crazy, during COVID, he said, Nick, I need you full time. I didn't hesitate. Right. So not to say everything's been a gravy since, business and entrepreneurship is valleys and peaks. We say it all the time in a company, you have to outpace your mistakes. And we've been able to do that because COVID was crazy. You imagine schools going virtual. Luckily, we had our own virtual learning platform. So when that hit, we were uniquely positioned to transition our company into something that schools needed. You know, we start actually managing whole classroom math, really the whole math department for schools. They were outsourcing like they would do their transportation or their food. They were just transitioning or outsourcing their math departments to us to run as a third party, which is unlike anything in the country.
How many schools do you service?
Right now, in the state of Indiana, about 15 right now.
Got you. Let me go forward though. Like, where did this idea come from?
It wasn't from me. Okay. I'll be the first to say. So what happened was, prior to COVID, we were called Crossroads Education, and we were a high tech tutoring service that were in schools, right? So schools will hire us. We have our own facility within the schools, and we work with students and the schools to improve math performance through tutoring, right? But when COVID hit and schools went virtual, it didn't make sense for us to be on site, because schools weren't on site anymore. So we had to get busy living or get busy dying, right? So he had the bright idea. Okay, there's a big gap between a lot of teacher vacancies. I'm gonna start there, right? Schools that Indiana is like 200 math vacancies.
Why do you think that is?
Very good questions. There's a number of reasons. A lot of studies done, but one, the School of Education isn't in producing enough math teachers. People don't want to become teachers, right? Ultimately, math teachers specifically, that's such a skill set too, right? Finding one person that's good with math and good with kids is like a unicorn, right? So people are not really going into that trade. So what our value proposition was, that we can find good people that want to be in front of kids to deliver our package, right? This package is okay. I need you to just deliver this curriculum that we have. We have online tutors that can tap into the class at any point in time. We have the data that excuse me, I pumped the mic. We have the data to help them decide what is needed for the kids at that moment. So we had a whole suite. So I just need you to deliver this. You don't have to be the sole source of math knowledge, right? If you think about it, if we want to learn something now, first thing we want to do is go to our resources. We're going to Google it. We're going to YouTube it. Some of the same things. Let's teach kids how to be resourceful. Yeah, you can ask the teacher, but we have a adaptive curriculum that they can lean into. We have tutors that they can lean into. So we want to teach kids how to tap into their resources. So that's part of the fabric that we try to integrate within our offering, right? Okay. So it's during that time where we had to see, okay, there's a deficit in teachers. Well, we can find the people just to deliver this package, right? So that was very successful. But what we pivoted to since then was, it takes a lot of change management for our third party company to come in and manage a math department as a service, as we call it. So for us to validate ourselves, we had to make sure that we showed that the kids were actually improving, because our operation is so much different from the standard way that people run schools and how math is taught, right? So it's like, it's almost, if you think about, you just had a baby, going from being, not force fed, but having umbilical cord, and then you're born, you lose weight, right? Then you have to learn how to kind of feed on your own, right? Through a bottle. So you lose weight. The same thing in this instance, there's a learning curve. So people feel like, oh man, this is different. So maybe I'm not learning, but we had to show that, no, you're actually learning by all this data that we have. So my partner and our team created a platform that we call Element that is amazing, where we are able to identify, student needs as far as academically, and it predicts success. They have assessment tool called NWEA.
I need to take that regardless of how old I am. Yeah. I need to be able to evaluate my success.
Right. So real quick, this is how we have to be innovative. They have the largest student assessment company in the country, NWEA. We are the only company in the country as a for-profit company that has a partner with them that allows us access to data. So they saw us as a school corporation, because we're in about 22. No, we're in 15 schools, but we have close to 30 educators. So they saw us as a school system. So they gave us access to data that when students take this test, we have a lot of data points that we can analyze and predict performance, unlike any company or anything that schools have access to. So we create a whole platform that we're working with schools to help them see, success within their students and stuff like that. So
a question to you.
Yep.
I understand today you have the information and the analytics to show the development that or the influence that your program has had on other schools and their kids. But that first school, how did you penetrate that first school?
Oh man, that was tough. Unfortunately, the schools and positions, they literally told us it couldn't get any worse than where we are now. So we want to take a flyer on this, right? That's
wow.
Yeah. So, that was an opportunity, right?
Wow.
Right. So,
and that's because of low staffing
and all that, right? Yeah. Okay. And some schools we've talked to hadn't had a licensed math teacher in over 3 years.
So if they don't have a licensed math teacher, the kids are not getting taught math?
Man, it's Band-Aids over Band-Aids, right? So they make it happen, man. Our school partners are working hard, doing amazing things with varying levels of resources because it's hard being a teacher. And, the environment is not the same every day. So that's a challenge. You can't predict it, right?
Now, my question would be, you're not sending out math teachers, you're sending out individuals to basically display or to give the kids the information, the homework or the
we're the teacher. We call them coaches, right? There's certain requirements that you have to have, like emergency teacher's license and stuff like that. And what we're doing now, we're in the process with the state to license our own teachers.
Oh, wow.
Our own math teacher. So we'll be one of only 3 companies in the country that's not a university. Hopefully, if we get approved within the next couple months to potentially license teachers. So not a university, a company. So we'll be one of 3 in the country.
I need to know the IPO before it go public.
Oh man, we're trying. We're working, man. But it's about the kids and it's creating as a company creating moats. Your competition. You have to really come with a lot of things to catch up with us.
Got you. I can dig it. So we are in a situation to where you got COVID now.
Mm-hmm.
Then people are going back to class.
Mm-hmm.
Are there less teachers available? Because at this point, nobody wants to work.
Mm.
So are you having trouble staffing or getting people, to join your team?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say we're not immune to the market of staffing people. We've been in positions where we've had people for a long time. We've hired great, but we also have people that we've hired on Monday and they don't show up on Wednesday.
Man, and how do you navigate through that? Because there's a lot of business owners on the other side of that camera that are going through it.
It is tough. I wouldn't say we have the magic wand on it, man, but I know we're always looking to searching for talent. And, we have our own ways of really hopefully predicting, success within people that we hire. We do predictive index. We do a lot of training. We do a lot of onboarding just to make sure that the people we hire stay, right?
Fair enough.
We found that the longer that we onboard them and take our time with them, they could weather the storm, because the first day coming into a school and you haven't maybe had the same type of traditional teaching could be an eye opener. Right. So we have to make sure we prepare them and make sure that they were aligned as a company. We're sending people into to schools, and we have to make sure that they align with us, because they work with our partners. They're going to be our people on the ground. So maybe administrators, maybe teachers, or other people will be coming up to them with questions and things of that sort, because we're such a different type of company. So they're gonna have a lot of questions and thoughts and opinions and things like that. So we have to make sure we onboard correctly our own people, but also onboard the schools correctly.
Got you. Who made the curriculum?
Oh man, the curriculum. My CEO, my partner, he has his own curriculum that we're rolling out now, but we also have a curriculum partner, Mass Space, actually out of Australia, which is they have really great math program that, can really say, okay, Eric, your deficiencies are here, so we need to remediate and go through these patterns and make sure we catch you up. So it's very predictive.
Wow, that's advanced.
Yep.
And you do K through 12?
Really K through college, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the whole model, but our sweet spot is really, like middle school before they go to high school,
Okay.
right? Make sure they're on path to be ready for those challenges.
Algebra and stuff like that.
Algebra is such a key, right? So that's where we found that's our sweet spot.
Got you. What is your aspiration or your vision for your company?
Good question, man. That's almost a loaded question, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's almost a loaded question because we are in a fundraising round, early seed round to grow the company. So we're actively raising money right now. We're hoping to close that in the next 2 weeks. But once you start taking on investors, they're gonna want to know, okay, are you keeping this company to earn money, or are we gonna sell it? Right?
Gotcha.
Because you run your businesses, separately, right? So we've seen companies similar to ours, and hopefully we're blessed to be in the same position, sell off between 500 to 750 million.
Wow.
So we're hoping, and we don't have the end in mind like that. We just want to make sure we get better every day and make sure we're growing. So my role as chief revenue officer is to make sure we're selling, we're expanding as quickly as possible. So that's a little stress, but I love it. I'm not afraid of that pressure. So I'm humping right now.
Got you. Are you only in Indiana?
Right now we're only in Indiana, but we're hopefully in the next month or so we're expanding out of state relatively quickly.
Do you have to get licensed per state?
Reciprocity, right? So if we do get a teacher's license, if we go down that route, if we want to talk about that, we have reciprocity in 48 states. But as far as our program, there's no type of specific license to hire. Especially, we lead with data. Let me assess all your data for your students.
Gotcha.
Right? You don't need any license for that. Just give me all those data points or whatever assessment tests that you have, and let's put it through our own platform and let us better tell your story of success.
Gotcha. How many employees you got in the company?
Man, about 45 employees.
Woo!
Yeah.
Payroll is decent over there.
Man, payroll, I would say you could be a mom and pop shop, or you could be Amazon. Somebody's always worried about payroll.
Facts.
That is a hard bill that comes every 2 weeks and don't come up short.
As soon as you send it out, you gotta put in the data for the next.
Absolutely. And people don't really understand that. We talk about it maybe offline. Sometimes, man, as an entrepreneur, sometimes that pressure, man, it could send you into different spaces in your mind, right? Because just knowing you have to take care of families, right? And you have to hit payroll. You have to, because they trust in you to make sure that, the company can progress and keep forward, and it hits those marks every 2 weeks. So yeah, it's tough. People say, yeah, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I want to leave my 9 to 5. Okay. You want to pick up a 24-hour job, right? No days off. It's not like that, right?
Now, I've asked you this before. When you get into some areas where, it's dark, frustrated, you can't get out that rabbit hole sometimes, what are some of the things that, you've done and had success to help you as an entrepreneur when you're in a tough time, whether it's personally or mentally, or it's just like you're just having some trials that you just can't push forward on?
Oh, man, having mentors is key. I have plenty of mentors. I just call and vent, or I bounce stuff off of, or think things through, because you could be a business running whatever product or service that you have, but you're also a people business because you have employees. So you have to make sure the environment's right, the culture is correct. You have to manage people. That's a tough piece. Also, just making sure those pieces are aligned, and you have 45 different personalities, right? And we're all trying to move in the same direction. Making sure that environment is conducive to success. That's the other piece that people don't really talk about. So for me, just making sure that, I'm talking to the right people, just getting stuff off my chest, problem solving with my partners. And, I feel like I'm pretty well balanced. Not to say I don't have my moments at times, but, I just, really try to make sure that I know that I'm doing it for the right reason. And, we're impacting kids, we're impacting teachers, we're impacting school systems in the right way, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that, next generation have access to quality education.
Fair enough. I don't know which way we could take this question, but our friend just left. We just had a conversation off the record.
Right.
He was in awe by what I was able to explain to him as far as like mentorship and triggers that he could look at to know that he needs mentorship because he may have some holes. You are a networker.
Yeah. I try to be, right?
There are individuals who struggle because of their community. Right? Like the environment that they're in, they just never been exposed to reaching out for people for help.
Yeah.
What are some things that you could give anybody listening to, some pointers as to, how to obtain mentorship or build great relationships that could help them propel in their careers?
Right. I think this may answer the question. I kind of, one of my mottos is this power and presence. Just being, if you're interested in something, be present at whatever meeting or whatever functions going on, be consistent, do a lot of favors, understand, because you want to understand the business and start just asking questions. What's that saying? When we want to make a sale, they tend to say, if you want business, ask somebody for advice, but if you want advice, ask somebody for business. I may have messed that up, but just ask a lot of questions, and people tend to want to help and just really lean into what it is you want to do and find those people that are doing it and just, do whatever you can just either model their behavior or their business or, just reach out to them and say, I'd love just to ask you a few questions because I'm an aspiring something and, I want to make sure that I am going down the right path. Right.
Fair enough. And volunteering to 6 internships before taking a paid one.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sacrifice, bro.
That's grind. That's grind. I look back, it's crazy, right?
What were you doing to maintain? Because a lot of people may look at that and be like, man, that's crazy.
Man, I mean, it was a means to an end, right? Because I thought I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. It's funny.
What'd you want to be?
Man, I felt like I wanted to be a sports agent. Or
hey, I was right around there. He's trying to go to Kelly School of Business.
But I went through, they had a sport marketing and management class and, learned a lot from that. And I remember in the class, I remember saying, I don't want to get into sales. That didn't sound like something I want to do. But quickly I found me being into marketing, me being then in, developing into sales. It's a relationship business. And that's something that I found myself good at is networking and meeting people and talking to them. And I know you and I talked about it. I try to remember people. Sometimes I'm not the best with names, but I always remember where I met people and the conversation that we've had. And I just always try to, base my relationships genuinely off, just communication and the back and forth that we may have had and developed since then, right?
Fair enough. You mentioned you have other products.
Right.
Tell me about those.
So Element is our data assessment tool that we're launching right now. We found that understanding the environment that we're going in within schools is important. We need to have their pulse. Okay, what type of performance are the students having? So we know what the baseline is. We can't go into schools anymore just working with them to run their remediation or their Excel program and not know where the students are. So we feel like we are the best in the country at assessing data. Right. So give me all your raw data. We'll run through our systems and we can tell you, okay, in one classroom, there's 10 grade difference. It could be a 6th grade class that some students may be ready for college algebra, but some students are 2nd grade proficient. So how do you teach that class? Right. Unless you have data to show that, you wouldn't know that. So we're the best in the country at assessing that data. And based upon that, we can make recommendations. Okay, we can run our remediation program where we work with schools and identify those students that may need the extra help and provide that service where we run our own program, where we bring in people, we run our remediation program. Or on the other end, if you find students that are excelled, we can run our program that focus on those students.
Gotcha.
If you want us to manage your whole math experience where we're bringing our own teachers, our own curriculum, our own everything, that's called core. And that takes a lot more assessing and meeting and change management because now you're bringing us in and offloading your math experience and bringing our own math experience, right? So that takes a lot more work. So we have Element, which is our data analyst platform. Then we have Excel, which is our remediation or Excel program, and we have Core, which will really manage the whole math experience for a school.
Got you. If there's somebody, a principal listening to this, what would be the benefit of having your systems in place as in contrast to the traditional math teacher?
I mean, it really comes to what their needs are. Every school is different because we work with public school, private school, urban schools, rural schools, charter schools. We work with a gamut. Every school is different. So it really comes down to your need. Do you have a staffing concern? Do you have a data concern? You know, we really have to find out what your concerns are. Most schools, data is either not well managed or understood, or understood at a minimal level. We feel like we can help you understand your data better, so you know what your student body is, and you can really tell your story better. So every school needs that, right? Some successes you may not even know, right?
So, you know, just speaking of what my small knowledge of the school systems in Indianapolis,
Right.
You know, IPS struggled for some years with like math tests and things of that nature. But then, you know, this is not something that, you know, I have analytics for, but you got people that just say like, you know, a lot of the progression that kids make in school starts at home. You know, how you feel about that?
It's not one solution to solve the problem, right? Yeah, IPS does a lot of great things, you know.
And that was just an example. I'm not throwing them under the bus.
No, not throwing them under the bus. You know, you're serving really 26,000 students. That's 26 different people that have different experiences. So how do you manage that, right? And different family structures. If you have a family structure that helps you know, the kid out after school or before school, obviously that's going to have an impact of reinforcing. But not everybody has that opportunity. You know, so many things that impact student performance. If the student is hungry, if you're hungry, you're not thinking about algebra. You know, if you have you know, a home situation that isn't conducive to your safety, you're not thinking about, you know, that math course or that test. So many things impact student performance. So our teachers, you know, do a phenomenal job. One, being an adult in the room that hopefully that the kids can rely on, respect that is consistent. But, you know, they're also trying to help them change their trajectory in life. So there's a lot of things that impact student performance. So and sometimes kids don't want to take that test. They're brilliant. We have kids that we show with our data analytics that has probably between 17 and 25, depending on the test that they take, data points opposed to 1 or 2 that the school may have. That, they're not doing well on this test, but they're scoring off the charts. And this kid should be in a Excel program because they're almost college ready, right? I wouldn't put them necessarily in college right now, but they're able to do some of the same functions as a college student. So they just need those data points and understand that maybe the kid's not being challenged, right? So, you know, we take with the data, it's objective. You know, it's just data, right? Just based off numbers. And the schools has a lot of the subjective stuff as well. They understand the student circumstances, right? So if you match the two, you know, it's hopefully improve the whole holistic opportunity for that student.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Tell me something I don't know about your company, bro.
Oh, man. Something about our company. One thing that we really lean on is equity and access. The same math program that we're running in Gary, Indiana, we're running in high resource schools in other cities. So to me, that's equity and access, right? So that kid in the urban or rural, because urban and rural suffer some of the same issues. They're getting the same math experience as we're doing in high resource schools.
Got you.
Right. So that, to me, that's equity and access.
Gotcha. Yeah. It gives everybody a fair chance.
Fair chance. Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do.
I like that, man. What has your entrepreneur experience been like? Have you ever thought like, man, I'll sell this and go back to work?
I know. I told one of my best friends, hey, you gonna laugh about this, man. Hopefully, if we end up selling the company, let's say years down the line, and I want to, hopefully it's worth its while on my end. I want to go and work at Best Buy 2 hours a week. So
What you want to do at Best Buy?
Man, I just want to look at TVs, talk about TVs, and have their discount, man. That's all I want, man. Hopefully, I'm retired, but send me off to Best Buy 2 hours on a Sunday and let me get my Best Buy discount.
Hey, don't you say the TV stuff? I haven't seen you since Christmas.
Right.
Did you get any gadgets for Christmas?
Yeah, man.
Hey, wait a minute. We got to get the people's backstory.
Man.
So Nick loves gadgets, right? I didn't know this about him. I was letting him know. I was looking at the TV, and Nick went on a rant for about 10 minutes about the best TVs. Right. So he was like, well, you want to know about TVs? Let me know. I'll let you know. Right. And I thought Nano Cell 90 was one of the best.
Yeah, it's a good TV. Okay. But, it's funny. If people ever want to find me, I'm at either Target buying, groceries, or I'm at Best Buy, right? Just asking people the same questions. So I will see the answers, right? But you asked me a gadget, man, I got a Dyson vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Game changer. Game changer, man. There's nothing like it, man. I just find stuff to vacuum now, man.
Hey, bro, you really an adult, bro.
Man, I'm an adult. People ask me what I want for Christmas. I want a Dyson vacuum cleaner.
So I got a Kirby.
Kirby's nice. It's
you ain't like it. You
no,
like your
man. It doesn't get it clean like you want to. Like going.
Hey, that's a great job for me.
Yeah, going carpet. Yeah, carpet. Yeah, it's good for that. But like that Dyson. How's the Kirby gonna get up the stairs?
Man, it's heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, but it can't clean up the stairs. No. So man, that Dyson is a game changer, man. I whipped that out yesterday. So, man. No, yeah. Well, they have newer ones. So I have the cordless one, man, and it's powerful. It maybe last like an hour and a half, depending on how strong you have the setting on, but yeah, it's a game changer.
Got you. Got Dyson.
And that's unpaid advertisement. I need to talk to him, man. Right? I need to talk to him. Pay me, Dyson.
Hey, when's your birthday, bro?
November 11, 1981.
I got you. No. I was just curious if your birthday was coming up. I was going to see, what's the next gadget coming up, man?
Man, you're funny. So we'll see. I have a Tesla on order.
Okay, okay. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's coming.
Did you look at any other electric cars, though?
I did. I looked at the Ford Mach-E, Mustang Mach-E.
Yeah, I
can't get that for a year. A lot of cars you can't get them. You go to the BMW dealership, they have more cars that are not BMW than BMW.
Facts.
And used cars are selling more than new cars. So that is a thing, right? So, and obviously gas is more expensive now. So I'm like, man paying $4 to $5 a gallon, doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So,
I got a Tesla in December, and I beat this wave. But it's the best investment.
Right. I missed it by a day. I was looking at it before the Ukraine-Russia situation, and it went up $1,000 in 24 hours. So I had to go ahead and lock in that price, and now just car shopping, you can't just go in like, hey, I want this car and I want to test drive. They don't have it on the lot unless it's a real basic car, and everybody wants a pretty substantial down payment.
No doubt.
Right.
No
so
doubt.
It's a whole different environment now. So I want to lock that down and remove myself from the gas bill, all that, right?
Got you, man. I'm gonna have to get a TV, so I need your recommendation.
So I'm an LG fan.
Okay.
It really depends on how.
So let's just say it's for a loft, pretty big room. We're talking about, let's say 25 by 25.
Okay. LG. Either it depends on your budget too. Okay. They have their OLED TVs. The A1 is really the entry level OLED TV. But if you really don't have a keen eye, you won't be able to tell the difference from their higher models, which are the C1 and G1. So I would say a 65-inch LG A1 should suffice. That'll run you like $1,400.
That boy on the numbers, bro.
Yeah.
You do need to invest my job.
Yeah, just I do that, and I just like to shop. I like I like watches. I like shoes. I like fashion and stuff like that. So I geek out on stuff, man. I jump on YouTube and just watch it for hours, man. And it could be Rolexes, or it could be Teslas, or it could be Dyson, or it could be TVs.
That's funny.
And I get obsessive about it, man. So that's my outlet.
Every time you come to my office, you talk about my jewelry, bro.
Right, man. Let me hold it, right?
Nah. All right, brother. Man, I need you to give me a gem, something that an aspiring entrepreneur can use and leverage in their journey. Something that has helped you make that transition from your 9 to 5 to becoming an entrepreneur. Like whatever, whether it's a hardship that you're going to have and have to persevere through. Give me something. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, while you think about that, I'm just going to remind y'all to make sure to tell a friend to tap in, like, subscribe, comment, man, and join the podcast.
A piece of advice or advices, man, you really have to become that subject matter expert of whatever you want to do as an entrepreneur. You have to live it. You have to learn it. You have to always improve because it's competition out there. I mentioned earlier, you got to outpace your mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, but make sure you're creating a moat around your business where, you're protecting it, from competitors, price or whatever those outside forces are. You really have to get better every day because in my business, I would say education is probably the most political industry that you can imagine. The United States have 350 million people. Those are 350 million people that have a different education experience. So how are we creating something that somebody is willing to trust and buy? So we are always improving because if you look at it, we're coming into a school and working with them and providing a service or a product. We have to be bigger, better, faster than what they normally do. Because if we're not, they can get rid of us the next day, right? So we're always trying to improve. I wouldn't say we have the perfect model by any means, but our partner knows that we're working hard and we're improving each day. What we were 6 months ago, we are in far better position now because based off our experience, our feedback, we take everything very serious when it comes to improving the experience for the teachers, the students, and the schools. So you just got to own that business, right? That's all.
Gotcha. I could dig it, man. I appreciate you for coming through, boss.
No problem, man.
Again, we appreciate you as well for staying tuned to the podcast, man. Don't forget, tell a friend to tell a friend. We interview dope people and we discover the relationship between real estate, which I almost forgot to ask you, man.
Real quick.
Man, I almost failed.
Man.
Oh,
so yeah, man, maybe you talk about real estate, often. I remember you asking me how my house is doing. Because we bought an older house in a historic neighborhood and we renovated. I love that process. It gave me a chance to geek out on flooring, on cabinets, on
your camera game is quite crazy.
Right. Now, man, washer and dryer. Bought a new washer and dryer a few months ago. Geeked out on that, right? So, I have attention to detail. I have aesthetics I want to hit. So I love that process of having a vision and bringing it to fruition. Hopefully in the next couple months, have opportunity to do that a few more times, man. So you are somebody I always respect in the real estate industry and in the entrepreneurship world. And I'll definitely be leaning on you for some more information.
Got you, man. Have you ever done a project?
Been my own project in my house, but not something that, I'm gonna have a renter in, man. Cause I was in that house every day, picking everything, right? I went through 3 or 4 contractors, but the other ones are trash, right?
So how'd you get your contractors though?
Man, one, talking to people that did it before, and I think contractors, you're only as good as really your current job because spreading themselves too thin and not showing up, and we're supposed to move into the house and you delaying or not being on your job. Now you're displacing my family. Now I'm on your head, right? Just say, obviously the delays, but just communicate to me, right? And you had people not communicating and not showing up. So luckily I found one that was recommended by another contractor who was honest with me. It's like, hey, I'm spread too thin, but this guy taught me everything I know and he's available. He could work with you. And man, he was awesome. It was awesome. So,
So man, in the future, something like that happens, man. 2 things. that I hear from your pain points.
Right.
So giving them a scope of work
Yep.
would help. A scope of work is just an in detail,
Yep.
Spreadsheet of everything you need. You need the LG right
Yep.
here, center
Yep.
on the north wall. You need this type of flooring. Here's the SKU number.
Yep.
I want these type of plugs. There's
Yep.
the SKU number. Therefore, they understand the detail of what they need to get, their labor.
Yep.
Then you might want to put them on a payment schedule.
Yep. And that's what I ended up doing. I learned that a little bit, also working through our bank too. They put them on a schedule because what we did was we bought the house and almost a free refinance where they gave us money to renovate.
Gotcha.
Right. And then they wrote it into our mortgage, and our interest rate ended up being lower than our original mortgage. So it gave us like $40,000 to $50,000 more just to renovate. But they had to. It was crazy. It was like 6 years ago. So maybe.
Do you remember the type of loan that was? 203K?
Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I can't remember the name of the loan it is. They might not have the same product.
Because the 203K loan basically gives you the money for the purchase and the rehab. And it's an FHA loan as well.
Yeah. This wasn't an FHA.
Okay, gotcha.
So it ended up being a conventional loan. And we were able to do that. But before they released the money, did it in like, 3 or 4 stages you go through so they had to break it down. Okay, we're gonna work on this and reimburse you.
Yep.
And reimburse it. But they bring somebody in and check, make sure the work was done.
Yep. So that's technically the process that I take on any flip.
Right.
So I get the money from the bank.
Right.
But I have a scope of work.
Right.
So when I hit the scope of work, I have like 4 to 5 stages.
Yeah.
So that first stage, if we're like taking something to the gut, that first stage is basically like the demo.
Right.
Once demo is done, boom, they come in, they verify everything's good.
Yep.
Demo and framing.
Yeah.
So when it's framed, that'd be the next stage. Then you have to bring the inspector to make sure that everything is according to code.
Yeah.
After that, you do the rough end. So those 2 or 3 stages, those first 2 stages, framing and demo, are together. Then rough end includes the HVAC, the plumbing, things like that. When they're piping the house,
right?
That stage I put together too.
Right.
So once they're done, then I ask for a reimbursement,
right?
And then move forward. Then you have when you close it in, the drywall and everything like that, and then flooring. And so when I get to that stage, I pay out again, and then you got the final stage where you're actually decorating
the details,
and adding cabinets, the details.
Right,
so I break it in like that. You don't always want to do a lot of draws because they also charge you for the draws and the inspection that they do.
Yep. That's what they're doing too, right? So learn. I mean, it was a few years ago. I'm hoping to get back into it next couple of months, have some opportunities. But I like having that vision and bringing it to fruition.
You got a lot going on, but I think that everybody needs real estate. You know what I'm saying? When you sell for that $500 million, you be at Best Buy with mad real estate.
Yeah, that's all I want, man. I want that Best Buy job. Hopefully.
Hey man, I'm really tripping. You said that.
Hey, it could be
because you thought about this.
I've thought about that. And my friends, they laugh, but they know I would do it too.
I believe you at this point.
Absolutely,
man. Thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate y'all. Till next time, peace.